Okay, we are live.
Oh,
Oh, hey, everybody. As you know, because my name is at the bottom of the screen, I am Liz Dawn, and today I am so excited. I'm always so excited to be in the space with you, Denise. She is a world-renowned best-selling author, teacher. She's written over 19 books, translated into 29 languages, has all kinds of amazing oracle cards and meditations. She has been teaching, and this is what I find so amazing, Denise. You have been teaching internationally for 51 years.
I know. And I can't even hardly believe it.
Started when you were 10.
What?
You started when you were 10,
There
right?
you go. Gosh.
I know. It is so exciting to have Denise with us today. And we're going to talk all about emotional, mental, and physical clutter clearing.
Clutter clearing.
And if you have any questions, make sure and put them in the comments, because Denise is going to answer questions. I'm not going to answer questions, but Denise is going to answer questions.
You know, before we begin, I'm getting confused with the screen, how to not get off the screen. If you find my face going off the screen, Liz, just let me know. Say,
You're
you need to
good.
skip back. Okay, good. There is a reason that we are here talking to you about clutter clearing. As we entered into the pandemic, and as so political upheaval and so many things were shifting, I kept asking, what is going on? Why is this occurring from a spiritual perspective? Of course, from a world perspective, well, pandemics come and political upheaval comes, but I knew there was something deeper. And as I reached inside, I began to hear that inner voice. And that inner voice was speaking to me about this particular time. And it is a time when the crack between the two worlds is opening. It's a time when the upheaval that is occurring is actually, on one level, it's horrific. And if you are personally impacted by any of the situations going on, you have my deepest heartfelt support, because it is hard. And I hear from so many people going through a hard time. And beneath the surface, something remarkable is happening. There is this opportunity to let go of old energies, old patterns, old karma, past lives even that are holding you back. Complete that cycle and step into a new cycle. And as this awareness began to grow, I began to feel this urgency of taking advantage of this time. We can shelter in place, we can watch TV, listen to podcasts, catch up on whatever, or we can go, you know what? This will never come again in my lifetime, and it won't. This period now will never come again. And to make advantage of it, whether, I came up with a program because I thought I really want to support people during this time. And whether you do that program or you do something on the old, I urge you to consider clutter clearing. Not just clutter clearing the physical stuff, but clutter clearing old emotional patterns, clutter clearing relationships that do not serve and support you, clutter clearing anything that you can out of your life, because by next spring, you want to have put seeds in the fertile soil of your soul. You want those seeds to have sprouted. You want these new, I get so excited, I hit the microphone. You want this new energy to begin to emerge in your life. And it will not unless you take the time to plant the seeds. And this is the time. The crack between two worlds is opening, and it will open for a while and then it'll close. So anyway, that's why
But I love the way you share, because you've shared that with me before, and that's like one of the reasons why we chose to do this at this time. I just want to make sure, Denise, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, your voice was a little bit soft, so I just want to make sure you hear me.
Okay.
As long as you can hear me okay, because I don't have
I will get closer to the
microphone today. I know.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Right.
I love, like, when we talked about this and you shared with me that this was such an auspicious time energetically, that just completely resonated for me, because this is this like, and I know a lot of us have been working, more than full time to kind of scramble, to kind of get things moving, to kind of figure out like, how do we redo our business models and how do we redo things? But you're right, there is, on a personal level, like separate and apart from like what we're entrenched in our business lives, that there is space, there is this auspicious energetic moment that we have to do this kind of work. That I agree with you. I don't know that we're going to have this space again,
No.
at this time again. And I don't mean this space in that, oh, we're not working, because a lot of us are still working a lot.
It's a frequency, and this
Frequency. Thank you.
frequency
Can you
will
explain
not
that a little
come
bit?
again
Yeah.
in our lifetime. It will not. And it's not just our lives, our community, our towns. It is a frequency that is affecting the entire world. And you've heard me talk about it before, this idea, if you imagine, I'm going to talk about it again because it's such a good metaphor. Imagine that you come upon this pond and it looks clear for the first 6 inches. It's a stagnant pond, but it looks clear. And if you get fresh, clear spring water flowing into that pond, it looks bad for a while. It looks murky. It stinks because all that gunk that was settled into the bottom, it comes to the surface and it looks bad. And you're thinking, oh my gosh, this is bad. It was fine before. Well, it looked fine, but beneath the surface, there was so much sludge. And eventually, as that water comes forward, you'll be able to see to the sandy, clear bottom. We are in that time of the turmoil, as the potential to allow this spring of light to enter into our lives. And it's a choice. You can say, you know what, I am not ready. And, I'm eternal. So not this life, next life. We can do that. But we can also go, oh my God, this is an opportunity. And I'm going to take advantage of that opportunity.
I love that. I love that. Yay. Okay, so a couple of people have written a couple of questions. Would you like to take some questions?
Sure, I'd love to.
Okay. So one person wrote, what about when we're talking about clutter clearing and we're talking about clearing things out of our physical lives? And I also want to touch on clearing out old emotional baggage and mental chatter, because that was something that I addressed yesterday. And I know that I struggle a lot with mental chatter and carrying old baggage. And that's a part of all of this energetic clutter clearing. So what about things that remind you, like physical things that remind you of events or people you enjoyed and treasure?
If you have clutter, it's pretty easy with clutter. If it energy up, energy down, or energy neutral. If you love it or use it, it's not clutter. Now, if you have something that reminds you of somebody that you love and loves you, or an event that just touched your soul, that's not clutter. That's a joy activator. But if you have thousands of joy activators, or maybe even hundreds, and they're kind of clogging, the physicalness of them is clogging your space, I've got a suggestion for you. Take a photograph of each one. Take a beautiful photograph, put it in a glorious album. Write underneath about the circumstances, the memories. You can even write poems. Make it a beautiful, beautiful album. If you're worried about losing the album, you can even digitize the album. Then you have every single one of those objects, every single one of those memories, but it takes less space. And you'll feel a difference as there's more physical space, but you still have all those beautiful memories and the reminder of those beautiful memories. So that's my suggestion.
I love that, because I've got all of these cards, like all of these birthday cards that my mom gave me, and there's like a lot of them. Well, maybe 10, because like I'm
Not exactly a lot.
I mean, that's such a beautiful response to that, is to digitize things, is to put things on a little thumb drive that, you want to keep mementos of. Like
or you can actually do a physical album. I like the physicality of an album.
I love that. Okay, so here's something funny. So we've got my sister's in the process of moving, right? And so she's clutter clearing. Well, she said to me, well, Liz, I have all of Mom's divorce papers. And I said, well, which one? Because my mom was divorced 3 times, okay? And it was like, do we keep these silly things, or do we need them for anything? I mean, of course we don't, but it's just like, to that point, I mean, certainly we wouldn't want to keep that. but going through those things, and if you really have to have it, I like digitizing it. I think that's
Yeah.
a beautiful thought.
Yeah.
Okay, here's another question. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm just going to say something. I'm just laughing. I'm teaching a very intimate course right now, and we're doing a lot of clutter clearing. And my daughter is a part, Meadow, my daughter is a part of that course. So I've been talking about the alchemy of clutter clearing, the importance of it right now. So yesterday, my daughter shows up. It's a long drive because she lives in Sacramento. And she shows up, opens the back of her car, and she has boxes and boxes. And she goes, Mom, I went clutter clearing. And here, I think some stuff that you would really like. So I actually have, because of my clutter clearing passion, I now have a few boxes more of stuff.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I love Meadow. She is such an angel. She's such a wisdom keeper.
She is a wisdom keeper. Okay, what's the next question? I'm sorry.
Okay, no, that's okay. How can you feel safe enough to let go of the stuff? That's a big one for people.
Yeah. Okay. Some people keep stuff as, to me, it's a negative affirmation of the future. I have enough now. I am enough now. But in the future, I might not have enough. I might not have enough money. I might not have enough resources. So I have to keep it in the event that I have lack in the future. Now, the challenge is if you're keeping something, you don't need it now, but in the future, you might have a lack, and you're keeping it to, I don't know, stave off lack in the future. You actually are affirming lack in the future. It is a negative affirmation. I have enough now, but in the future, I won't have enough. The more you think I won't have enough, guess what? The more likely you won't have enough. And every time you see that object or you encounter that object, it is screaming to you, well, you might have enough now, but in the future, you will not. And guess what? If you have a lot of those objects, you are setting yourself up for a lack in the future. And you don't want to do that. And I know it's scary to let go. And here's something that happens really often, and maybe you've had this happen for you. You've had something for 10 years, you've never used it, you've never needed it, and you're clutter clearing. 10 years, I haven't used it, I haven't needed it, I'm going to let it go. So you get rid of it, and the very next day you need it. This happens all the time. It's not an accident. And then you go, why did I let it go? Why did I let it go? There is a sub-personality inside all of us it's our survival being, you don't let it go. Don't let it go. You're going to need it. You won't survive. It's like a fearful sub-personality. And that fearful sub-personality will go out of the way to make sure that you need it the next day or in a couple of days to say, see, I told you I'm right. You have to hold on to that fear now. You have to hold on to that fear. So you have to look, where do I gain more energy? Do I gain more energy by clearing the space of this object? Or do I hold on to it in the rare event that I might need it? And and there's no right answer. Where's the greatest value? Where's the greatest juice in life? Also, full knowing that you might need it and a few days afterwards, it makes it less likely to happen. And if you can, not just knowing it, but go, yeah, I might need it in the next couple of days, so what? At least this way it's not clogging my energy, something like that.
Oh, I love that. Very good. Okay, so Betty Skinner has asked,
Hi, Betty.
Hey, everybody. How do you shift into momentum when you're tired, burned out, and just don't care about it? When you just don't feel like doing the decluttering? Tips, tricks?
Yep, I got it.
You feel like doing it.
Yeah, momentum. People think with clutter clearing, they've got to clear a week and they have to just go for it. They have to have all this energy. You do not. If you have, I have no energy, I have no motivation, take 5 minutes. Anyone can spare 5 minutes.
Oh.
And you divide that 5 minutes in half, 2.5, 2.5. So you pick one drawer. Doesn't even matter what drawer, because success gives birth to success. So as you succeed with your 5 minutes, it's going to open the space for more. 2.5 minutes, and you can put a little timer there. 2.5 minutes, you're going to clear whatever you can clear. Yes, no, energy up, energy down, energy neutral. After 2.5 minutes, and you have to be really rigid with yourself. That's it, 2.5 minutes. Then you put things away. One of the challenges with clutter clearing is we start to clutter clear, and then everything's a big mess for days, for weeks. So you have half the time for clutter clearing, half the time for cleaning up. I'm going to suggest, based on the tens of thousands of people I've worked with clutter clearing, is after that 5 minutes, you're going to feel more energy. You're going to feel more life force. So the next day you can do another 5 minutes, or you might even up it to 10. But as you start, and it's really important with clutter clearing to celebrate your success. Instead of like, God, it was only 5 minutes, you go, damn, I clutter cleared for 2.5 minutes. That drawer is rocking it now. So high five me. I'm so damn good. Celebrate your success. Don't go, well, it wasn't very much. 5 minutes or 2.5 minutes dedicated to your life can make a huge difference if you hold the intent that it will, and then it will. So
Wow, I love that. I love that, because sometimes if you think you have to clutter clear, it's like this overwhelming,
right,
looming task. But if you start small, if you start like with one drawer and say, okay, I'm going to do this drawer, and then maybe the next day or 2 days you'll be inspired to do another drawer.
Right, and it doesn't even have to be the whole drawer. We have drawers. Yesterday, I did this. Is in the bathroom we have a top drawer, and in the drawer are little compartments, and maybe there's about 7 compartments. My husband has like 6, and I've got 1. But anyway, that's okay because I have other places. And so I thought, I've only got a couple minutes, so I just cleared one of those tiny little spaces in the drawer, and then I cleaned it, and it just made me feel so good. And it was one tiny space and one small drawer, but it opened space inside of me. And I felt good. And I didn't do any other clutter clearing yesterday, just that one little bit, but it made a difference.
Wow. I wanted to also kind of touch base a little bit on emotional and mental clutter clearing, the mental chatter.
Yeah.
Now, I do want to announce, because I know that some of you know about this, and some of you, I'm looking at the names, and I know that a lot of you are signed up for it already. But Denise will be teaching along with Meadow Lynn, her daughter, her amazing daughter, who is this fantastic chef and amazing soul coach. So Denise is going to be teaching a 28-day journey, a 28-day course called Let It Go. And this course, I just want to share with you, it probably will never be this price again. And we've made it at such a wonderful price because of what's going on in the world right now. But Denise, I want you to would you talk a little bit about, because during this 28-day journey, and it's okay if you miss a day, because I know people were freaked out on missing a day right? So I want you to address that, and also talk about, you're going to be doing some emotional clutter clearing and mental chatter clutter clearing. So if you could address that a little bit.
So years ago, I developed a program called Soul Coaching. And I thought it was a pretty good program. But then people started to do this program, and it's 28 days, and every week is dedicated to a different element: air, water, fire, and earth. Now, if you go back in history, Pythagoras and Aristotle talked about air, water, fire, and earth. The Celtic tradition, air, water, fire, and earth. Native American, air, water, fire, and earth. Now, in nature, these elements are not, they're not separate from each other. They're woven in. There's air in the water, there's water in the earth. I mean, they're woven into each other. But from a psychological point of view, each element represents a quadrant of our being: air, mental; water, emotional; earth, physical; fire, spiritual. And what's interesting is these elements and the associations are fairly well universal. So I dedicated 1 week to every one of these elements. And when people started going, and every day there's 3 exercises. There's one exercise that'll take you about 3 to 5 minutes. There's a second exercise, if you choose to do it, that might take you 15 minutes or so. And the third exercise takes as long as it takes. And every day you can choose to do one, the 3 to 5 minute one, or 2, do 2 exercises, or do all 3. But what happened is, when people started to do this program, they were getting phenomenal results. And it was so much more than I ever could have imagined. And I still don't know exactly why it works, but it works. And it's been probably 15 years since I have personally offered this to a group like this. to do this soul coaching program. And like I said, I may do it in the future, I may not. And then so I thought I really want to offer people the opportunity to take advantage of this crack between the worlds. And then I thought, what is really needed right now is a kind of inner and outer clutter clearing. So which we do in the soul coaching program, but I added a 28-day clutter clearing program, and every day there's a different thing to clutter clear. And it's a lot. And some people are like, I am ready, bring it on. I will just do whatever it takes to clear. And some people are like, I just don't have that much time or energy. And the amazing thing is, it works anyway. Now, the first time I offered it as an online program, there were some people and it was the first time, so no one knew what was in the program. There were some people that, they were already scheduled to be out of town for 3 days. But amazingly, during those 3 days when they would come back and they would see what the exercises were, they would go, that's exactly what I did. I didn't even know it. It's like once you sign up for the program, it's almost like a mystical connection, and your life begins to shift and change. And what I always say, it doesn't matter if you miss a day, you keep going. You do not go back. Now, if you want, you will have all the recordings so you can go through it again and again, grab some of your friends who went through the program and do it again with them. But you don't need to, because somehow it works in a mystical way. So I've never provided these two courses together in one, but for those of you who want to just go for it and take advantage of this enormous, majestic opportunity available in the frequency of the planet, go for it. But if you don't, I think I just want to do the clutter clearing part, that's okay too. And I don't know, I'm sorry, I'm getting carried away. I just urge you, and if you don't do the program, at least do something. Take advantage of this time. Do not just sit back and wait. You need to take action. This is the time to take action. Yeah. I'm sorry, you had another question in there.
No. It's okay. One of the things that we were talking about, and Janice Peterson just asked it, what about the psychological baggage? How does that get cleared? I know that you're going to cover that.
Yeah, we do that. Well. We do that in the soul coaching program. Right. And we address your relationships with others. We address your relationship with yourself. We address your identity. What do you identify with? A woman that runs into a burning building to get her jewels, in that moment, she is identifying herself as jewels rather than herself as body. A stockbroker who jumps out of a building when he loses his stocks, like they did during the great, was that in 1912 or something? Anyway, and that he identifies himself with his money. Someone who loses a limb and kills themselves, they are identifying themselves as their body. So we talk a lot about your identity, where it comes from, and what you can do to shift it, because you are not stuck with it. We talk about your values. Values are not morals. They are what you value. And the great thing about your identity, about your values, is first you have to figure out what is so. Who am I? How do I see myself? How do I perceive myself? What do I radiate out into the world? And you can also, if it's less than positive, we go back, and we're going to be doing past life regressions, as well as lots of inner journeys to get to the source and shift it at its source. And it's like a miracle. It's like when you mow over weeds and you keep mowing over them, and a couple days later they bounce back, but you go to the root and it's gone forever. It's kind of like that. So you have lots of opportunities, and we have a private Facebook group, so you'll be in there and you can say, hey, this came up for me. And chances are there'll be like 20 other people that have the same issue who are able to support you. We have mentors there. We're also, in addition, I'm going to be 3 times a week, I'll be on Facebook talking to you, but we also have other experts coming in with Facebook Lives. So you have a lot of support to go through this, to discover what the patterns are. And then you'll have the support to be able to just, I'm ready to let this go. I've had this for a long time. I am ready.
I can't wait.
It's going to be amazing.
I know. I'm so excited. Okay, I'm going to post. So I'm the one with all the details. So I'm going to post the URL right up there for everyone. It's on our website, celebrateyourlife.com, and then /let-it-go. So the name of the program is Let It Go. And so it's starting on August 1st through the 28th. And it is a complete release of emotional baggage, the mental chatter, how to tamper down that mental chatter and all that mental clutter that gets in the way of us succeeding in our lives, And we're also going to cover physical clutter clearing. So it is one of the most comprehensive programs that Denise is doing online. But here's the wonderful, wonderful piece of this, is that Denise came to me and said, these aren't easy times right now. Denise normally charges upwards of, I don't know, $500, $600, $700, $800 for these courses. She has deeply discounted it. I mean, deeply discounted. It probably will never be this price again. And it's at $127 right now. That is a screaming deal.
We're not just saying that as a
promotion,
like a used car salesman. Oh, get this deal now. It's actually true. This is a huge opportunity, but I wanted to make it available to as many people as possible during this time period. And so that's why it's a special price.
Yeah, and I'm going to be taking it. Everyone on our staff is going to be taking it. We're going to have a private Facebook group devoted to everyone who's going to be in attendance for this program. She's going to be speaking Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays on Facebook Live, and then we're going to upload it in this private group. We're going to upload all of those videos to a private channel on YouTube if you're not, in a space where you can jump on Facebook. So, and they'll be recorded so you'll have access to it. So if you're going away for a few days or you can't do it every single day, then you can go back and listen to it again. But I love that this is the time to do it. Like, this is the energetic moment. This is the time energetically in our world to do this program. So make sure and just go ahead and visit the website. So
every day you will get an audio file, and the audio file will have the exercises for the day. It will have a meditation for the day. Every day we pull an oracle card to kind of tune into the energy of the day. So some people, they say, I don't want Facebook or I don't want the video, but so you can just listen to it. It was a really good audio program. So every day there's an audio program for you to listen to too.
Oh my God. So here's the thing, that if you've never taken a class with Denise, here's what you need to know. Denise over delivers. Always. You can always count on Denise to over deliver. She'll say, you're going to get this, and then you're going to get 10 more things. So you're going to get so much stuff every single day delivered directly into your email inbox. Plus, we're going to have support in that private Facebook group. We're all going to be going through it together. It's just going to be such an exciting journey. I can't wait. Is it August 1st yet? Oh, Barbara signed up. Nancy signed up. Oh, really, really great. This is wonderful. I'm so excited that so many of you are going to be there with us, because this is going to be quite a program. And what I'm really excited about, Denise, because I know I'm holding on to some old baggage, I'm excited for that releasing of the emotional baggage and the mental chatter, because sometimes it gets so bad that I can't fall asleep and I get stuck on something. And I know that you're going to be going through those kinds of exercises too. And I'm sure a lot of you experience that same thing. We talked about this yesterday with a group of people that were on here about how sometimes, like, we can get stuck on things and our head won't let go of it. And it keeps us up at night. And sometimes it's not just negative stuff. It's also joyful things that it doesn't matter. It's that mental chatter that we have to learn how to shut off. So I'm excited to learn that, Denise. So I'll get good night's sleep, so I won't be stuck with mental chatter all the time. All right, let me see if I don't think there are any more questions. Does anybody have any questions about the class or have any questions for Denise before we sign off? Let it go. Okay, so someone asked, she's wondering how much of the physical side of the Let It Go will it be the same, because she's taken your 10-day Ultimate Clutter Clearing Challenge. It's going to be a lot more.
There is a Clutter Clearing Challenge that you will find very familiar if you did that with me before. And there is a soul coaching program that is completely different from the clutter clearing. And it is that air, water, fire, and earth. There's over 100 different exercises. They're powerful exercises. And what I've found, it's so fascinating with this over 100 exercises, often there'll be one exercise that will just shift everything for someone. And it's different for different people. So there's part of it that is clutter clearing. And if you want, you don't even need to do the clutter clearing. Like, I'm pretty clutter free. Just do the soul coaching program. So I like doing them both together right now because of these times and just going deeper with the clutter clearing. But if you want, just do the soul coaching program. And I'll be talking about that as you go along. Like, hey, just choose. You can cherry pick what you want to do today.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Someone does have a question. I think I can answer this, but the question is, will we be able to ask Denise one-on-one questions?
If you post them in the Facebook group, then when I get on Facebook, I can address those questions.
Yeah, it'll be just like this. So you can ask questions and Denise will be able to read them. And how long are the daily talks? They're Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays when Denise is going to be on. And then those will be for an hour, right?
I planned on half an hour actually. The reason why I'll tell you why I planned on half an hour is they've been doing, so many people now are on Zoom and on Facebook Live, and they're finding after 20 to 30 minutes, people actually zone out, that they can't hold it. And it's much more effective, and you will retain the information better if I'm on for 20 to 30, and I will stay on for 30. But if I'm on for 20 to 30 minutes, an hour, you actually will retain less, which I think is fascinating. So that's why it's not going to be that long. Well, you can change the world in half an hour. I mean, it's all in comparison, isn't it?
It's true. It's true. And will the group stay available forever after the class end? I don't think the group will stay available forever, but it'll be up there for a good amount of time.
Yeah, I would say, well, we can talk about that, Liz, but I would like to see it available for a good amount of time so that people can continue. Once you form that community, it's nice to have it there.
Absolutely.
But it won't be forever.
Okay. And then the talks somebody says, do you know what time the
Yes.
live talks? Yes, 9 a.m.
Pacific time, 9 to 10. And on the days that I'm not talking, we'll have 9 to 10 with other experts, other speakers. There will be for the Australians. I haven't asked her yet, but there's this wonderful Australian gal that I would love. And so the 9 o'clock doesn't work for the Australians. So probably hers will probably be 4 to 4:30. And Kyla, if you're listening to this, that's you I'm talking about. But she's really good. So, and all the people that I'm going to have on are they're excellent. And my daughter will be one of those too. So you will be able to get other experts on, and we'll have, those will be someplace, right? So people can, if they're not live, they can go. Okay.
Oh, we'll have a calendar. We'll send out emails. We'll send out, carrier pigeons. We'll let everybody know.
Okay.
So the soul coaching is part of the program, is a question.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, great. All right. Yay. Okay, that's it for today, you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. And I'm so excited to see all of you. I'm going to post the URL to that again. You can just go to celebrateyourlife.com and it'll be on the homepage. You just have to scroll down a little bit on the homepage, but I'm posting a direct link to it right now. And again, this is such a great opportunity, and this pricing, it'll probably never be at this pricing again, and such an auspicious time in our world to be able to do this and to do this together. So, we're going to have such a wonderful time and really clear out all the old emotional baggage and mental and physical. So, Denise, thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you. Love.
All right.
Bye-bye, everyone. How do I?
You stay for a second, Denise. I got it.